Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Giants. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host John. Today we wrap up our modern Terminator Predator Alien lineup with Prometheus, the prequel to the original Alien with Ridley Scott back at the helm. And I know this was pretty hype back in the day because again, it's Ridley Scott coming back to his baby and you're like, alright. And then I used to catch this on Star movies and it was always at the part where everything went to shit already.
Was it always at the part where Charlize Theron couldn't go left or right?
No, it's the fucking birthing scene. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh yeah, same here. Those were the two scenes I always run into when I would like catch it. Because back in the day, we couldn't really watch these kind of movies alone because we were very young.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's always those two scenes where it's what's her name, like doing Ellie like doing the self-surgery thing and trying to remove like the alien.
Yeah.
And Charlize Theron like being flattened by
the donut.
A hemisphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
By a circumference.
This movie, through the best intentions, asks very interesting questions and decides to make a thesis about it, and decides to make the thesis with the soundtrack of, I don't know, Limp Bizkit. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
It did?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know what to compare this to. Like, it's such an interesting question of like, where did we come from? And it answers it in the most goofy circus way, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I was also just like, it's beautifully executed. Like the execution, if you were coming into this not knowing the plot of Alien and like just like dead brain, you'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
Which I did. I was just like, wow. The entire time, this movie is very pretty. This movie is beautiful, especially in the dark scenes, especially when like they go through the catacombs where like they see the dead aliens. I'm like, I loved every single part of this movie. It's just the story was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Very incoherent.
The characters are also either, incoherent or just stupid. You're like, what? Why?
Stupid. Yeah. There was one character, and it's such a shame because I do like this actor. He's the guy who played the villain in Jurassic World.
Jurassic
The
World.
second one.
Uh,
Second one. He was like, "Oh, you're bad. Call the police and turn yourself in."
Oh yeah,
And I was like, "He's that guy."
Yeah. There's also
anyway,
the bad guy from Mission Impossible, Sean
I
Harris.
love him. Sean Harris is probably one of my favorite actors as well.
Yeah.
I love his voice. I love his like entire character. Watch Possum. No, don't watch Possum. It's a terrifying movie.
There's The King in Netflix with Timothy Chalamet. Pretty good movie.
Yeah, pretty good movie. Wasn't he like the second, like the right hand man?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, that was it.
Again, star-studded cast from like Michael Fassbender, who might be my favorite character in this movie. Charlize Theron, Idris Elba, Noomi Rapace, who was the girl in the original version of the girl with the dragon tattoo. If you ever seen that movie, you're like, cool. Will never see that movie again.
I have never seen it. I'll try to see if I can. Also, what's his name? The guy from Wong from.
Benedict Wong.
Benedict Wong, because his name is Wong.
Doctor.
It really is Wong.
Yeah.
And then some characters that I've never heard of, but I say they perform pretty well.
Yeah.
Here. One guy, the other guy, the husband, Charlie.
Yeah.
He's from Upgrade.
Yeah. It also is the Shocker, the fake Shocker in Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah. And like, it's such an interesting premise of this, how this whole alien debacle starts with just the search for what brought us to life, and you're like, that's an interesting thing to ask.
Which made it really funny because now. Alright, like Alien, was it Alien versus Predator?
Yeah.
They retconned the entire lore on Weyland Yutani.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Now
that's why I was so confused when I watched Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's now played by Guy Pearce, the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's the guy
No, he's the real Mandarin in there. Fake Mandarin is.
Well, they're both fake Mandarins at
Yankees.
this point.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, he commissions these scientists to go to the world to discover life, and for a while you're like, it's a pretty interesting setup. Like it's all going smoothly, and like at the point when they discover the tomb and they discover the decapitated engineer, you're like, that's pretty interesting. And then it goes to shit literally for the movie and for them when the storm happens.
It's so fucking fast.
Yeah,
Like at some points, you kind of have to rewatch it twice to see what happened to everybody.
yeah,
So like when they got to the planet. By the way, the entire plot of this is that they found life and they found these hieroglyphs
yeah,
or these drawings in cave paintings in like different parts of the world, and they were like, these are all relating to one
yeah,
thing, and these might be our creators. And they're like, oh, holy shit, this might be it. And then Waylon Yutani's like, hey, before I die, I kind of just want to know,
yeah.
you know, why did they create us? And you know, so you're gonna go on that journey, and you're gonna talk to them, and you're gonna find out why.
Yeah,
And they go to Iceland. I mean, weird planet.
yeah. And you can
And
tell shit has
yeah.
already happened, and like they're just
I like that part.
yeah. I don't mind that part. I'm like that makes sense, and later on, Idris Elba has to spell it out of like what this actually is, and you're like, that makes sense. Huh. I didn't really
Yeah.
figure it out until he said it, but I do love the fact that David is on his own agenda to be like, if these scientists won't help me, I'll just help myself because I am
Right.
an android, and I also want
I-
to know.
I don't know what was up with like everybody just shitting on this android
Yeah,
when it clearly saved like Charlie's life and Ellie's life.
yeah,
And like even Waylon Yutani was like, he's as close. He's practically a son to me.
just has no soul.
But he is a robot who doesn't feel and cannot die and has no soul. That is what you are. And I'm just you just see like Michael Fassbender just like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna obliterate you all if I could.
Yeah, and he does that eventually after the storm when they're sheltering in. He gets that jar of ooze, and he puts it in like Holloway's drink. And he's like,
Yeah.
and Holloway's still like shit talking him, and you're like, do you really wanna pick a fight with a robot man that's this realistic? Though I will admit, Michael Fassbender is the best part in this movie because you're like, I wonder what he's gonna scheme up next. But when
Yeah.
I say the characters here are very dumb, it's because like people like Sean Harris, the map maker, gets lost in the place that he mapped out. You're like, what?
Right? I was like, bruh. I love how his like entire character. I love Sean Harris, but I don't like this character all that much.
Yeah,
I felt like there was a potential to it, but like it was underutilized, and I felt so bad.
yeah,
But yeah, he's like, I'm a badass. I'm just here for money. I don't really care what you guys are trying to do.
yeah,
And then as soon as he made the entire map, he even like had like this whole, like, oh, here are my pups. You
Yeah.
know, like it scans the entire catacombs or like the cave system, and then he's like, yeah, this is what I can do, and gets fucking lost in his own fucking blueprint. And I was just like,
he's
What?
like, bro, do you know where to go? The guy's like, what? Don't you know? He's like, no.
Right?
Huh?
yeah, he gets stuck with a guy from Jurassic World,
Yeah,
and they spend the night in the caves because they got lost.
Yeah, and, like-
the fucking sandstorm comes in. By the way, I'm like, it's more of like a metal storm.
yeah. Also, like, they Idris Elba's supposed to keep an eye on them, but he decides to get his yak on with Charlie Star on, and just disappears from the the video feed.
You know, that's the part where I just fucking laugh. Where I'm just like, this man just wanted to get some punani, and it's like absolutely fucked up the entire crew because of that one act.
Yeah,
Okay, look, it was all gonna go down nonetheless because Michael Fassbender was already kind of just, you know,
yeah,
like plotting his own plot.
yeah.
So But instead of that, they had two fucking problems,
Yeah.
which just formulated into this heaping hot mess of a situation.
Which goes against what they were trying to say earlier with like when Shaw discovers how close we are to the engineers and she's like, we finally found the missing piece, and then you see stupid acts of Idris Elba being like, I'm horny and I'm lonely. They don't need me, right?
Yeah, right. And he was like, "There's a life form beside you." It's just a glitch. You know, I'm just like,
Why was it
okay.
there in the first
But
place?
yeah. Anyway, the guy from Jurassic World just like happens to see this fucking thing. By the way, when you see something like flashing at you like this, stay away.
Yeah.
You know, like no alien would just come into our world and just look at a cobra and be like, "Wow, you know, I think it likes me."
Right. It's like, I don't know what's with the alien scientists always being like, let me stick my nose into
Well, let
it.
me stick my face into it, you know.
Yeah.
And it attacks him, but in the process of getting it off his arm, by the way, it like started breaking his arm.
Yeah.
That was cool. Fucking Sean Harris like cuts it open, and the blood spritz on him, thus like giving us the typical acid blood.
Yeah.
And to stop it from melting his face, he dips his face into the infested waters with all that slugs, and he just like dies there. I'm like, cool death, but stupid.
Right? And then they go back to search for them, but like Holloway's already infected. And they go back, and Charlie's there, and it's like, no, it's not going back on. And Holloway's like, it's alright, y'all. I'm doing this for y'all's safety. And he gets obliterated. And like, I think that's also one of the moments where in Star movies, I always tune into that moment. I'm like, what's happening? Why is this wife's husband being fried? What? Why?
Yeah. Well, I guess he's gone, and then they find out she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And there's like a virus going on, and like there's so much shit going on.
Which is weird because
like,
Shaw cannot get pregnant, and David's like, you're pregnant. She's like, what? How? And you're like,
I
yeah,
cannot
how?
be pregnant. You're 3 months pregnant. And we're like, what? And then 3 months became 6 months, and 6 months became 9, and I'm just like, oh fuck! And nobody wants to like take care of her.
Yeah, they're
like nobody's like, they're all like, oh no, you're just crazy. You
yeah.
know?
Their best solution is to be like, go back to sleep and hope for the best. And you're like, what?
Yeah, but I like this sequence. It's stupid how we got here, but I'm like, I like this entire sequence where she goes into the pod, where it does like this whole like, the self-surgical thing.
The poor girl is just like, C-section, and then she's like, no.
Oh, yeah. The sexist, like I can just imagine the back of the tank, just like, nah, you gotta bad.
No, you can't use this.
Like, no.
And then she's like, you know what, fine.
That was, in my opinion, that was so stupid. I'm like, really? You technically did a C-section,
Right?
a very horrible C-section that the baby might have not survived in, but you were close.
Yeah.
So why can't you do a proper one? Anyway.
It's close to what the original Aliens movies are, where there's this moment of like supreme uncomfortability. And you're just like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
And just claustrophobia, and just like when she's just being caught up.
Yeah.
And then like they remove the thing and it's alive and it's like flapping at her, and then the thing's like stapling her back together. I was just like, I would have immediately just passed out on the spot if I was her.
You're like,
and you just see her just like hitting herself with like as much drugs as she can.
And then she passes out to discover, or like she makes it to the next room to discover William Yutani is alive, and it's Guy Pearce in this weird old man makeup. But before that, Fifield returns and just wrecks shop with the other group.
I love that shit though. Like like the virus that infected Holloway. Yeah. That's what he was gonna turn in. Like, and I love it that kind of like ask like, why did Holloway turn into that? Then you kind of rewind back, you see him like dip his face into the water.
Yeah.
And I guess it got into his system and thus make him infected.
Yeah.
and like the dude is like climbing up like the walls and shit, and like absolutely wrecking everybody.
The
They have to
one,
like run him over with like a rover and then set him on fire.
the one dude he stomps on. You're like, oh Christ.
Absolute, I love that scene.
Yeah.
Again, I love a lot of scenes here. It's just stupid on like how we got there.
Yeah. Also, David discovers that the engineers wanted Earth specifically, and you yourself are like, but why?
Why?
Yeah, but you see the beginning that they created life supposedly, but you don't know why they're still wanting Earth until it's again spelled out for you, and like they're all gearing up. I feel bad for Shaw because she's still like newly operated on. She's like, all right, let's get it on. Zips it on her wound.
And it doesn't even help that like David even gut punched her like later on. It's like, oh fuck.
Then yeah, Idris Elba has the scene of like, you don't get it, do you? They were experimenting on like weapons of mass destruction because they're smart enough not to do this in their own backyard, but they still want to shit, and that's why they're like, peace, we're gone, and now we're part of that cause. We're part of the continuation of this weapon of mass destruction that is the ooze. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Seriously.
Yeah, so by the way, like the ooze is the like at the start of the movie you see one of the engineers like drink it. I don't know why. But yeah, like it gets into the water, it tears him up to the DNA.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why would you drink that? Okay.
Right?
You do you, bud.
Right? And then like Waylon wants David to ask questions, but Shaw also has questions of like, why do you hate us so? Why do you do this? And then Waylon's like, if she speaks again, shoot her. And then she gets the gut punch, and you're like, come on, man, she's been through enough. Why?
Yeah, but like they tried like communicating with it, and then the thing just like rips off like David's head and like beats Wayland Yutani with the head down. Just like, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then the girl from Game of Thrones like comes up and gets like Superman. It's like, oh shit.
All this while Waylon just like, I guess it means nothing as his daughter. Yeah, Charlize Theron is his daughter in this movie, and you're like, yeah.
I missed that part.
I forgot about that part. I was like, right, you're related. Yeah. And then the alien's like, all right, you're all from Earth. I guess I'm going to Earth then to kill you all. And then Shaw has to beg Idris Elba, like, please, I know you want to go home, but if we don't kill this, there is no home.
Yeah, and like Idris Elba being the man, like even his like crewmates were like, Captain, you're a shit pilot, and you kind of need help, like so they're like going down with the ship, and I love that ship.
Yeah.
But he like gives Charlize Theron like, hey, you got like 2 minutes. I give you like 2 minutes. Get out of here. And you see her just like trying to put it on. And like, yeah, they collide with the ship, and by the way, that collision did absolutely jack shit to the ship.
Right?
Besides like take it down.
Yeah. And then we get the scene that people love to nitpick the most, where Shaw and Charlize Theron are just running in a straight line from this thing that is clearly moving in a straight line. And you're like, I wonder what's the solution to avoid this.
By the way, funniest way we found out how to survive the situation is Shaw going, like, tripping and doing and then she was like, oh, how about I roll out of the direction of the falling thing? And you just see Charlize Theron just like get absolutely pancaked. And I was like, again, very funny.
Yeah.
Did we see this thing like fall? No, right?
No, we just see
it just stayed up.
Yeah. And then Shaw just wakes up and he goes to the life pod, but David's like, it's coming back. And yeah, you realize that, yeah, Idris Elba, as much as the cool character as he is, did jack shit to the flying donut. You're like, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah, but they were able to like salvage it because the love child of like Ellie and Cthulhu just like happens to be like around, and it attached itself.
Yeah, and
But we
gives
have different forms of like the face hugger in this movie.
yeah, and like
But yeah.
gives us the most graphic deep throat ever in
God.
cinema. You're like, well, that thing's done for. Oh
Yeah,
well.
to all you tentacle porn fans out there, like, this is to you.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, you weird fucking kid. I love you, and I really hope we see
Yeah.
in person.
Oh
Don't
man.
hate us.
And then she does. David's like, I can help you, and she's like, why? You killed my husband, you piece of shit. It's like, I can help you get
Yeah.
out. I don't want to get out. I want answers to why they did this, and that's where the
Yeah.
movie leaves off.
I love the entire conversation. It's just like, why? Like, why do you want that? And it's like, well, that's the difference between you, like, me and you.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah, I was like-
one less to David. You're like, okay, sure.
Yeah, just like, one last, you are a machine. You don't understand.
And then, like, after they fly off, you see the creation of the xenomorph. You're like, oh,
Or like, like a hot demo, like, of a xenomorph.
yeah,
You know, just like, it's there, but it's not there yet.
yeah. And, like, you get some more answers in Alien Covenant, but that kind of breaks the lore. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen it yet. I really need to watch that. Because
Alright.
I heard people say it was, like, bad, but also not that bad. I don't know.
It's kind of, to me, what The Last Jedi is to a lot of Star Wars fans. In terms of lore breaking.
I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah, you might hate it,
Alright.
who knows?
Yeah, but I'm excited for Alien Romulus, which is like a revamp of the entire series
Yeah.
or entire franchise. But just saying, I love Alien. I
Yeah.
love the entire lore of Alien. I love the entire like what they brought to the table because they mixed two different styles together, which
Yeah.
is H.R. Geiger's fucking wet dream, like the whole bio horror-esque world
Yeah.
with a mix of cyberpunk-esque analog technology. And I love both of these things, and they're all in one, which is the Alien universe.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever mentioned that or ever noticed about just like, yeah. Huh. And just saying, I'm so happy and I'm so excited for Alien Romulus.
Same here. But with everything about Prometheus that we talked about, what would you rate Prometheus?
I'll grade Prometheus a 6.5. You know, like a
Fair enough.
lot of stupid things happened in this movie, which, in my opinion, was kind of unforgivable. It was just backed up with really cool visuals and like cool action scenes.
Yeah.
Like these would have been amazing if the build-up wasn't so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like all of these things could have been easily avoided if like one person didn't just have to go for some bussy. Another person just didn't have to fucking like look at a cobra alien thing, and like one person should have just stopped shit talking the AI.
Right. I'll give us a 6 as well. Not the best prequel. It could have been great. Could have been amazing with the thought of like our quest for knowledge of how we began is how we doomed ourselves as a species. That's an interesting concept. Unfortunately, it just comes down to like, why are you poking the cobra? And I know you're lonely, man, but we have a mission. Can you look at the screen, please?
Like nobody on deck was like, "Hey man, can you just take over? I'll be gone for like 10 minutes."
Right?
10 minutes.
Yeah, I couldn't go to Benedict one and be like, man, can you do me a solid? Can you watch the screen?
Yeah, like it's like it's Charlize Theron, man. It's just like,
Exactly. Also, the map maker wasn't like, how do I find myself out of this maze that I made for myself? You know? You're like, what?
like I gave myself the answer sheet, but I don't understand.
Right?
I'm just like, not your brightest characters, Sean Harris.
The guy
I'm
was like,
sorry.
how do we get out? And Sean Harris goes, that's a question only you can answer. The guy's like, what? You made the map!
At least it was self-aware.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, not the best, but I would say it's worth a watch for Michael Fassbender alone, and New Mira Pace. She's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I do like that this is like somewhat in the Alien universe. It is like the start, and it kind of gives you like maybe a like the origin story of the xenomorphs. It's kind of cool. Again, how it came to be was kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
like the process alone was very beautiful,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But yeah, that's been our video for Prometheus. What do you guys think? Please comment down below what your thoughts are. If you like this movie, or if you like Alien Covenant better, whatever it is, please comment down below. But if you like this video, please leave it a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, Spotify to hear us on the go. And the video Zoda's voices on TikTok and ends Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnJM_ on Instagram. It is my article.
And until the next video, which will be a very interesting one, we'll see you there. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.